This video contains the Constructivism learning theory. What is Constructivism? Constructivism is a theory on how people learn which is focused on observation and experimental purposes. It is centered around the idea that learners are active participants in their own learning and training. This theory was pioneered by educational philosophers and reformers including John Piaget, John Dewey, Vygotsky, and Brunner, among others, in the late 19th century. The key concept of constructivism would be that when human learning has been constructed, learners build valuable knowledge on the foundation of previous knowledge. This perception of learning stands in contrast, in which learning has always been defined as the passive transmission of information from one person to another, an approach in which reception rather than construction is significant. Here are the key principles of constructivism. Learners build personal interpretation of the world based on experiences and interactions. Knowledge is embedded in the context in which it is used. Create novel and situation-specific understandings by assembling knowledge from diverse sources appropriate to the problem at hand. Now we have the types of constructivism. John Dewey's cognitive constructivism, Vygotsky's social constructivism, John Piaget's cognitive constructivist theory, and Brunner's constructivist learning theory. Dewey adopted a constructivist approach to teaching and rejected the idea that learning should focus on repetition and role learning. Instead, he proposed a teaching method of directed living, whereby students actively engage in real-world activities such as practical workshops and role plays. Dewey emphasized the importance of prior knowledge and experiences within the learning process, as well as creativity and collaboration. He believed that education should be student-oriented rather than subject-oriented, and that teaching should evoke problem-solving and original thinking. Vygotsky emphasized the importance of social interaction within the learning process. Vygotsky believed that without interactions with others, learning is restricted to what the individual already knows. He rejected Piaget's assumption that it is possible to separate learning from its context and stated that culture is highly influential in developing cognitive ability. Vygotsky argued that the language, writing, and concepts that arise from social interaction elicit higher cognitive thinking. Piaget believed that knowledge could not simply emerge from an experience. Instead, an existing structure is necessary to help make sense of the world. Children construct their understanding of the world via assimilation and accommodation. This means that cognitive mental growth is achieved by integrating more straightforward concepts of knowledge into higher level concepts at each stage of development. Brunner viewed learning as a process of discovery and stated that individuals build upon their knowledge through the organization of information within different modes of representation. Modes of representation refer to how information or knowledge is stored and encoded in memory. These include an active representation, iconic representation, and symbolic representation. Now, how do we know that we are already engaging in a constructivist classroom? Constructivist classroom focus on student questions and interests. They build on what students already know. They focus on interactive learning and are student-centered. Constructivist classroom activities include the following: reciprocal teaching and learning, inquiry-based learning, problem-based learning, and cooperative learning. Here are the benefits of a constructivist classroom. Develop students' thinking skills, develop students' communication and social skills, helps students transfer skills to the real world, and promotes intrinsic motivation to learn.